Now, I know this topic has been done a lot, and some really great arguments have been put out there, especially by Tildir, Zargon, and so many other great YouTubers I follow and enjoy watching and listening to. So, if I repeat anything that these fine gentlemen have already said, I'm just trying to gather the best of the best and the strongest arguments to take down this complaint so many feminists have. I will also be borrowing a lot of content from my Rape Culture Rebut series based on everyday feminism's examples of rape culture. To get this started, it's sad whenever this subject comes up that you have to announce that you are against rape. But here it goes. Disclaimer. Rape is bad. Rape is wrong. Anyone found guilty of this crime should be punished to the full extent of the law. Now on to the video. Rape is, as I've already mentioned, a horrendous crime, and anyone that is in the right mind is anti-rape. Which begs the question, why are feminists anti-due process? We as a society are going to do our best to prove anyone who is accused of this crime guilty. Prove being the operative word. When it comes to rape, feminists chime in and automatically assume guilt and want that we prove the person's innocence. When we have a listen and believe mentality, this creates a breeding ground for a large amount of false accusations to creep in. It's not that we don't want to prosecute this person for rape. It is that we want to be sure someone is guilty of the crime before we ruin their life forever. False accusations are definitely a thing, and because people lie, we have to verify and make sure that through evidence, these people committed this horrible crime. Otherwise, we get into situations such as the University of Virginia fraternity being prosecuted for a crime they didn't commit, or Duke lacrosse players just assumed to be guilty. After having researched this, there seems to be more and more false accusations popping up. While these two seem to be the most famous, these are not the only examples in recent history. False accusations hurt real victims, and it's because liars exist that we have to be skeptical even though feminists want that society just listen and believe. So it seems there is a problem here. We have a society built around assuming innocence and proving guilt, and we have feminists fighting this and saying we should just believe the victim. This is a contradiction, and you cannot be for both. You are either for the mentality of listen and believe, or you are for due process. The two are not compatible. You are either assuming innocence or assuming guilt. It is absolutely unfortunate that because we have the system this way, that there will be rapists that will be let go and set free. But it isn't because society doesn't care, nor does it mean that we live in some sort of rape culture because we chose not to prosecute. It is because there wasn't enough evidence to convict the perpetrator. This is why it is imperative that if you do get raped that you do not take a shower, and as soon as you can, when possible, get down to the police station, file a report, get a rape kit done, and because evidence is what is going to convict this douchebag. Waiting 20 years to come out to accuse someone of rape and then calling society a rape culture because the person doesn't go to jail simply by your accusation alone is ludicrous. Just a side rant. Men are not mind readers. We do not want to rape you. Well, the vast majority of us don't. If you aren't feeling it, or you have a headache, tell us. If the guy starts pressuring you, then the guy is a douchebag and you should leave him or the situation. I don't know how to address this without sounding harsh, but there are some reality checks that need to be said here. Slut-shaming? So what? No, really. Same with catcalling, and being called bossy. On a scale from 1 to 10 of importance, I give these a -3. These are just words. Why are feminists making a big deal about these at all? Someone calls you a slut. Why are you allowing that word to have any power over you and allow that word to dictate on how you choose to live your life? Your sex life is nobody's business but yours and the person with which you are sharing that part of yourself. If I am not grabbing you, forcing you to be with me, or touching you in any way, you can choose not to like it at all. Nothing is stopping you and making you talk with me, though. If I say, "Hey, sexy thing, what's up?" you can keep walking. And if I call you a slut or a whore because I get butthurt and cannot handle rejection, that's my problem, not yours. If you want tips on how to deal with catcalling, I have a link to Julie Borowski's video on the matter, and it's perfect. Words only have power if you give them power, and labels given to you only stick if you allow them to stick. Now, I can see that from a woman's perspective that this can be a hard thing to deal with, and may seem unfair. But there is a reason why this double standard exists. And I realize women like sex just as much as men, but it's not about that. It's that it's more difficult for men to get sex than women in general. This has already been tested through many social experiments. Men are more likely to be rejected than women when it comes to sexual activity. A woman is more picky when choosing to have sex with a partner. A man is less picky when choosing to have sex with a partner. Though there are never absolutes, when you have social experiments where women go around asking men for sex, more often than not they accept the offer culture. And when you have the roles reversed, a man gets 1 out of 300, 2 if you count one prostitute in Europe. So there is a reason why that if a man can beat those odds, he is praised and called a stud, because the average man cannot do that. But if a woman goes, yeah, I totally slept with 3 guys last weekend, people go, so what? It's easy for sluts to have sex. Because there is no great accomplishment when a woman does it. At any rate, the double standard bothers you? Ignore it, and do what you want. Until men can just ask women and hook up just as easy as women can hook up with men, the double standard will always exist.